Welcome to the DEC4 podcast. You can access episodes, companion articles, research notes and links, as well as information about our contributors and supporters at DEC4podcast.com. Hope you enjoy the program.
I can't get over the tentativeness, the way he comes out of the wings, settles into something that would comfort him and settle him like CC Rider. And of course, Burning Love, a big hit at the time. And then he seems to loosen up. And as soon as he sheds that guitar, he starts to stalk around the stage, dealing with the fans. And you can see him starting to loosen up. And then we hit some really good high points through the set list as he goes through the concert.
The rehearsal show was the 12th at a very respectable time, 8:30 p.m. The next day was spent rehearsal, sound checks, and obviously ironing out the last-minute crises before showtime at 12:30 in the morning on January the 14th. For me, the moment that breaks the ice is You Gave Me a Mountain, because that just comes together with such power and perfect precision. I think that when they have that one under their belts, I think he relaxes a little bit and starts to have some fun because they can see that it's going to be a great show.
You Gave Me a Mountain is the first one. You're right on that. Marty Robbins, my man, wrote it and recorded it. It's funny when you go back to listen to it, and it's so often when Elvis covers a song, he takes it up to the nth degree. It is the first big moment, but I'm telling you, it's for different reasons. There's a frailty in the lyric because it's about struggles and it's about failures. And as a kid, I couldn't help but think of the line about my woman got tired of the heartache. And if you know Elvis World, it's right around this point that him and Priscilla are splitting up. And he even kind of grimaces at that lyric. And maybe it's a cliche to think that he's channeling that, but at the same time, the man's getting divorced and singing about a divorce. I always thought about that. And of course, I would always joke to myself, interesting, no more wedding ring on that finger, and that's sad, but he seems to have recovered to the extent that he can put a big, massive, golden, square, billboard-looking ring on that finger. So I used to joke to myself, I think he's recovering okay, but it's the
Yes.
It's the first tune he can really bite into. You're right, and like you say, once they got that done, everybody's, oh, okay, everybody must be saying, okay, this is the pocket. We're in the pocket. Look out. We are dialed in. This is going to be amazing. And there's a few more points afterwards that they reach the transcendent, and it's really pivotal in Elvis's story to mark some of these. I got to go on to Steamroller Blues. It's interesting. James Taylor wrote that tune. He had said that he saw all these young white kids adopting the blues and in a posturing sort of way. So with his tongue in cheek, he wrote this song as a bit of a jokey dig. Let me see if I can write this really cliche blues song. And his version is okay, but I mean, Elvis, you know what? The visual image, you talk about his band being in sync with him. When he's in the pocket in the middle of the song, the camera will pan over. The singers, the backup group is not singing, they're sitting, but they're all clapping and rocking back and forth. I mean, they are fans. They are into it. And as a fan watching, oh, you get pumped. And he tears the head off that song. And Glenn Hardin with his fantastic solo. So we've had two points so far. One is a kind of a dramatic showpiece, a Sinatra-style acting in song. And then we go back to the blues, the beginning of everybody's origins in music, and he's nailed that one as well. So we're certainly on fire now. We go into My Way. I don't know, man. My Way is a funny one because people will ask me who did it better, Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley. Most people know Paul Anka wrote English lyrics to a French tune with Sinatra in mind. It's a trademark of maybe both singers, but it hasn't really aged well. Similarly, in Sinatra circles, Strangers in the Night, non-fans, oh yeah, I love it. Real fans know that is not, Sinatra didn't really like it. Nobody really cares for it. My Way, Sinatra would joke, well, we're now going to sing the national anthem. I'm contractually obligated to sing this. So it became a bit of a joke because of the pomposity of the lyric. The lyric is a little bit overblown and over the top, and here's me, I'm so great, and I did it my way, and nobody. So in a way, it's perfect, but unfortunately, it's in a bit of a parody, a cliche way. My main problem with Elvis singing My Way, and I even hate to bring it up, but, you could argue that through his career, Elvis did not do it his way. And I don't think that's even going to blow anybody's mind. Look at all the years in Hollywood. And everybody asked me, non-fans challenged me, why did he keep making those movies? Well, why did he stay with Colonel? Did he take the easy road? A lot of times, I'm sad watching Elvis sing, I took the blows and I did it my way. Well, I just hate to say that he didn't really. Now, as a showpiece, it's wonderful. The big final note he hits, and it's magnificent. And as a kid, before I got bummed out by learning all these real things about the song, it was amazing. It's a great final note. And again, he's off to the races now. It's Over was a real sleeper for me. I didn't realize Jimmy Rogers recorded it in '66. It was a top 40 hit for him. But through the years, devastating lyrics, devastating. And the way he sings them, if time were not a moving thing, like it's really a really moving song. And if you want deep cuts, hidden gems, whatever, the Elvis songs you've never heard, It's Over. It's just incredibly moving. And in his hands, it's wonderful. Then, I Can't Stop Loving You is the perfect example of what Presley did. A country song that he injects with his blue-eyed soul R&B voice, and the way he rips into it with that ferocious start. And you gotta love from the actual concert when he goes down to get a lay from that one woman or something, and you distinctly hear her say, "Oh, Elvis, I love you." And when I'm a kid, I'd be cheering, "Yeah, I love you too, buddy. Go get him." It's a great example of what he did so well. I Can't Stop Loving You. So we're going almost, the big You Gave Me a Mountain, the gritty Steamroller Blues, the bombastic My Way, the touching It's Over, the ferocious I Can't Stop Loving You, and then What Now My Love. I can almost get emotional talking about it. It is now it's one of my favorite songs of all time because no matter what arrangement you give it, it's a wonderful song. It's a wonderful melody. One of my favorites is by Herb Alpert, who gives it a great bouncy arrangement. It's the composition itself. Yes, it's a fantastic song in anybody's hands, but I'm telling you, you could pick, is it 5, 6, 7, maybe 4 performances from Elvis's career that you would play for the uninitiated to answer your question, what is Elvis so good at? What does he do? What Now My Love is majestic. When they come in for the final, the band swells, the background singers come in. It is compelling, dramatic. It is majestic, and it's just drama. And again, it's 70s. Look at the suit, look at the hair, look at the size of the collar, and the size of the song fits in. It's just magnificent. And then Suspicious Minds was funny for me because I grew up on Aloha from Hawaii. So this version of Suspicious Minds was the first one I'd ever heard. So when I heard the studio, and almost everybody will say his finest recording, his masterpiece, his big hit, the studio version is so different, really. But it's much cleaner, of course. It is pristine. But as a showpiece here, and it irks me a little bit how he would almost speed up every song in concert to increase I don't know what, but it's a little bit faster, it's looser, it's just a great showpiece, the way he breaks it down in the bridge there and worries about tearing his suit. It's classic. It's a crowd pleaser, it's fun, it's a great point for him to stop and introduce his band, which maybe bears noting because the band is on fire. It's a great lineup of people. And I think it's Imperial's earlier backup singers, which I was much older by the time I realized they even existed, because for me, when I was a kid, it was J.D. Sumner here. So Suspicious Minds is a great event song, and then to take a break and a breath and talk about the band, it's an excellent point in the concert for him to introduce the fellas.
Yes, of course. So this is the of all the times and places.
The guy that gives me my scarves and sings harmony with me and General Flunky, his name is Charlie Hodge.
Poor Charlie. Like, everybody's jokey and Charlie's cool with it, but dang, yeah, he uses the word flunky. Unreal.
I mean, Charlie Hodge really should have had a co-producer credit for the shows and was a vocal coach and harmony singer. And he was so much more than someone who handed scarves and, water at the appropriate time.
My young children, you can learn from kids. My young son snickers at Charlie Hodge because he says all the times Elvis cracks a joke, you hear Charlie's ridiculously loud laugh, and it sounds so pandering to Elvis that's the impression a young child gets, and made me stop and think, well, Charlie maybe gets short shrift because of that appearance of just being his boy. But talk about, you hear about behind the scenes singing around the piano late at night. It was Charlie who knew every gospel song and sang with him on record, in concert, everywhere. So Charlie needs some more love for sure. Even though he has that goofy persona, he was not a goof.
No, definitely not. Just an observation too, going back to My Way. It's interesting that there's a discreetly placed easel with the words that Elvis is reading from, at least from in the early verses. And we know also there were some cue cards visible. In fact, we'll post one in the newsletter. The words to Welcome to My World were being held up in cue cards. And, in later years, people seem to get, and critics seem to get awfully upset by the fact that Elvis would read from lyric sheets occasionally. But, if you look at some of the stadium performers now, there are auto cues on stage, and I don't think anybody even tries to hide it. So it really wasn't, it wasn't anything unusual. Podcast terms and conditions can be found at our website, DEC4podcast.com. You can contact us there or on our social media. Find us on the major podcasting platforms, and we're also on Substack, Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram. This has been George Fairbrother. Thanks for listening.